Today I'm gonna show you guys how I created my Sump filter box. You guys ready? Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy Calypso, and here we are to show you guys a DIY I came up with not too long ago, and it's my Sump filter box. You know, a lot of people have been asking me how did I create it, what materials you need to do it. So I'm gonna show you guys today. All right, so first things first, of course, the item that you're gonna need the most is the box. This box is made by Design. It's used for cereal. So what better use it than not other than cereal for a filter, right? So the other items you guys gonna need is some type of acrylic, plastic, some type of sheets that you can use to create the baffle. So this is the baffle, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I created this, because when you look at the box, it's wider on top and then it goes a little narrower in the bottom. So I'm gonna show you guys how did I came up with the proper measurements so you could get everything in there nice and tight. So when you put the silicone and all that, you don't have big gaps opening, so everything be sealed nice and neat. Also, in the bottom of my box inside the sump, I have a little you could say like a little stage, so you could place the sponge and water can come out through the bottom. So it's your choice of what type of acrylic you're gonna use to create the baffle and create that little stage on the bottom for the sponge or media, whatever. So that's up to you. You're gonna need some silicone, so aquarium safe silicone. So I went with the Aquion clear. I got this one at Petco, just in case you guys are wondering where you can get it. And this should be plenty enough silicone to put all this thing together. And last and not least, you're gonna need a bulkhead, some PVC, and a union. The union is so you could put it on top of the bulkhead when you place the bulkhead in there, so that way when you're doing maintenance you could disconnect the box and it'll be easy to do maintenance on it. All right, so let's get to the bill. Let me show you guys exactly how everything gets put together. All right, let's do this. So first to start, excuse the audio. The audio is not so great. I don't have no way of connecting some microphone to the phone, so it'd be more clear in the background noise, the pump and the water in the back. But I hope everything come out as clear and I can explain everything as clear as possible, so you guys be able to create this if you want to go the cheaper route, the easy route. And you can just buy a 20-gallon long or 30-gallon long, 40-gallon breeder, and you can use that box as a form of filtration. That way you don't have to buy a baffle kit. You don't have to go through all the hassle. So I remember that I had this box laying around, and I was using this box for a dosing container. And I remember that this box where the cereal comes out, to show you guys here, it has a opening. So opening that you can fit a bulkhead through it. So exactly what I did, the first thing is rip this off. Boom, the door is out, and there you have it. So what I did is I grabbed the bulkhead just to make sure it was gonna fit. And one thing I noticed, you know, the bulkhead, the 1-inch bulkhead, I don't know if a 2-inch bulkhead will fit in there, but the 1-inch bulkhead do fit. Now once you put the gasket and all that, it will cover the hole completely. Let me remove this. It will cover the hole completely. So what you gotta do is just try to center the bulkhead as much as possible, so when you put the ring, the ring's gonna sit inside this circle here, but you gotta do it as center as possible. So that way, when water is flowing through it, you don't have salt creep build up on top and all that. But it fit perfect, man. Perfect. Look at that. So I'm telling you, once I saw this thing, a light bulb went on in my head. So I said, you know what? I could use this. So if you put it tight enough, then you make sure it's sealed, and you can go ahead and continue building the box. So 1-inch PVC, and of course I decided to use this side here for the water come through. You put the baffle, and then you have this bigger chamber here for media, sponges, all that. So that's exactly how it's gonna end up looking there. And I love it. I'm telling you, it works like a champ. One thing, you know, depending on the depth and the sump, the baffle that I did for it is, I think it's 9 inches tall or 9 1/4. That way, you have plenty space here to put filtration. And you know, if you need in the sump, what you can do if the water level here is too low for your sump, for your skimmer, so all you do is just create another stage on the bottom so you can lift the box and you'll be all set. So how I created the baffle. So the baffle, again, it was a plastic framework, and like I say, this baffle here is wider on top and a little narrower on the bottom. So if you grab, I'm gonna use it with a piece of foam since I cut this one already. So if you grab this, a piece of foam, if you measure the top first and then you try to do the bottom, and the bottom, like I say, since it's narrower, if you cut it like that without having it in an angle, so what you're gonna have is the baffle going more like leaning towards one side straight and one side almost like in a 45 degrees. So what you want to do is you want to grab the box. Let me get a ruler here. And what you want to do is you want to measure the inside of the box. So once you get the measurement from the inside of the box, then when you go for the bottom part, so measure the top of the box. Then on the bottom part, what you want to do is measure the outside of the box. So try to get it as close as possible to this edge, and you're gonna measure there. What I do is I always make a line on the ruler so I know exactly where to look. And then when you look inside the box, what you want to do is kind of hard, but what you want to do is measure from the inside of the wall to the inside of the wall. That way, when you come here, let me get a pen. So I measure the top, right? So I'm gonna measure the top. So it's from here to here. So that's the measurements I'm gonna get from the top, from there to there. And then I'm gonna do it up in the bottom too. From there to there, I'm gonna throw that line. That way I have a perfect rectangle. Boom. And then I did measure how much is from here to here, so it's like an 8. And that's what you're gonna do in the inside from the wall. So you're gonna do an 8 here and an 8 right here. Let's say that's the measurement. I don't know if that's how you read it, but it does the measurement. So then, remember, you got the inside of the box from top and bottom, and then then from there, like I say, you do that 8 inside, and from there, you just gonna throw the line from here to here. Boom. Then you do the same over here. This one probably not gonna be perfect, but it's so you can get an idea how to get the right measure for the inside of the box. So I'm gonna use a blade. I'm gonna cut it with a blade. Hopefully I don't mess up the straight line. I'm gonna go slow. It's not gonna be a perfect cut, but it's so you guys can get an idea. So we got that part out, and we do this side. Again, and I'm using this as a sample so you guys can see. Boom. So basically what you're gonna end up is whiter on top, narrower on the bottom. So let's see, let's hope that it's gonna go through. So once you go in, you see, it's nice and neat. So then what you wanna do is once you get the bottom, you're gonna measure how tall you want it. So I say 9 inches and a quarter. So that's what we do from bottom up. 9 inches and a quarter here. 9 inches and a quarter here. You measure here, boop. And then once you do that, you cut. And this is basically what you're gonna end up with. Nice and tight there. And once you put this, voila. You have the box, you got the bulkhead in, PVC, and water. What water is gonna do, of course, it's gonna drain through here, it's gonna come out through the top, and then it's gonna go through the bottom. So that's exactly what I did with this piece right here. And that's how it goes. This piece is kind of flexible compared to acrylic. But that's where it goes. If I'm not mistaken, I was using this, no, that piece too big. Let me grab another piece. So when you put silicone, let me grab a piece of PVC. So when you put silicone, you want something here to hold the baffle in place, so that way you don't have to hold it there. You make sure it's completely tight towards this little wall here. That's what I love about this, man. You have a big wall here and here that you, once you put the silicone, it's gonna be sealed completely, man. And on top, you got plenty of room to work on it. Amazing. So now, couple things you gotta do as a safety. So in case the box get clogged, you can open a hole over here on top. Just so if any sponges get clogged, water will come up and exit through there. Also, what I do here on the bottom, I use a Dremel to open some holes here and then one hole in the front right here. It's not the best looking cut, but it works. You know, what you want is water to exit and filter through this whole chamber right here. Like I was saying, you want to have an opening here, an opening on the other side, and an opening in the front. That way you could get the water filtered to there, and the water don't have no choice but to come out through there. So what I did is I left like a ½ inch from here to here, and from the wall to the front, ½ inch, and ½ inch opening. So basically, you go here from the bottom of the box, you're gonna make a line to the ½ inch. Again over here, line to the ½ inch. That one didn't mark. Okay, there we go. And you throw a line. Hard to see when you mark with a pencil, but you do it the best way you want this to look. Right there, and here, right there. Okay, then we flip it, we do the same thing.
Draw the line by eye, and here too by eye. I'm just gonna go ½ inch tall. Boom. Same thing over here. I'm gonna do it by eye again. Same thing over here, by eye. And we're gonna do half inch tall again.
Voila. And basically, what you're gonna end up having is just a clear line like that. So that's gonna be open from here. I'm gonna use the bottom of the box as the bottom of the opening, and same thing on the front and in the other side. So once you have that all that in place, then you can go ahead and cut it however you want with a Dremel, whichever best way you could possibly do. So if you want it super nice and neat, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now, how I'm gonna cut it so it cut nice and clean, because the other one wasn't too pretty. And we'll see how I cut it. And then from there, so I'm gonna leave that one like that. That's up to you. Then to get the bottom, to create a little stage here, so just flip the box upside down, measure the inside, how close, how you want it to be in the inside, in both sides. It's gonna be the same, the bottom is the same. And just measure the long side from the front of the box to the baffle. Now, if you're gonna put some legs to the little stage, like I do with this shell pins, remember, don't do it as wide as the bottom. Leave the space for this to go in there. So what you want to do is, you're gonna grab these things, you're gonna cut that little nipple there, or that little stick right there, so that way when you cut the thing, this is gonna be sitting like that, and you create some legs. But that's why I say be careful when you cut this piece. Be careful when you cut this piece, because you want this to be able to fit in there. So again, that's up to you if you want to create that little stage. If you just want to just stuff it up with sponges and all that, it's up to you. I suggest you creating that little stage, so that way you could have the openings in the bottom open, so water can come out. And the reason why I do half inch here, because this is basically half inch tall, so it's gonna leave that room wide open so the water can come through. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna cut all the pieces I need, and then we put it together. All right, you guys ready? Let's go. All right, guys, so I do like this way better. And the other one, I just used the drill to do a straight lines. So this time I used the Dremel with this tip on it, just so I can round the edges. Like I say, if you do a half inch, the Dremel has certain tools that you could like sand this down a little bit. It's not a bad looking. I mean, if I take my time, I could do it better, more clean look. But this will do the job. So you open the bottom, and that way you got where the water is gonna exit. So now let's create the little stage that goes there for the sponge to sit on it. All right, so let's go. All right, so I got the piece that's gonna be the little stage for here, so you guys can see it could fit in the inside. I think I need more. Yeah, I need to cut a little bit more so the other pieces I'll be able to fit in there. Like I say, these little things, you gotta with the little thing, you gotta leave that extra space so it be able to fit in there. If not, it's not gonna fit. So one side fit, but the other one don't. So I gotta cut a little piece of it, and And that's what we're gonna do now. So let's just cut it. So the piece is complete. So this part here, it's up to you. You could leave it square or you can round it out the corners, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna round the corners, and then I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna do the holes. I'm using basically an oil filtration chamber that I have that has a good pattern with the holes. So all I do is I trace them, and then with the step drill I just make the holes. So let me round the corners and I show you how I mark the holes. Perfect. You got a perfect round corners. So now let me grab the piece that I use. So I trace the holes and then we do them. So here's the piece. So you see it has a good pattern holes, big and small. So what I do is I try to center as much as possible. And then I tray all those holes. Once I tray them, then I open them as big as they are. All right, so let me do that and we continue to the next step. So you guys can see, this is exactly what you're gonna end up with. Nice and neat. Next, what we gotta do is we gotta cut those little end pieces of the shelf pins. So we need 4. The good thing when you buy one, I think you get 8. Yep. So you can create 2, like I did. But I already have 4 pieces. So again, tool that we're gonna use again for this job is the Dremel. So let me connect. I disconnected it thinking that I was done, but nope. Let me connect again. And let me switch the tip. So this is the tip I'm gonna use. It's a diamond tip. You don't need this one, but it's easier to cut with this one for me, so let's use this one. All right, let's go. All right, we ready to mount this thing together. So all you gotta do is just silicone things together, glue all the pieces together, and you all set. So first I'm gonna start with the baffle. I'm gonna silicone the baffle in place. You do it as you please. So let's open this thing. Where's my blade? I'm just gonna cut right here because I want a good thickness of silicone come out. What I do first, I put one in the bottom, and then I put in the 2 walls here, so that way I push the box, and at the end, I put in the inside and then just clean it.
So it can be nice and clean. So I make a line in the bottom. This is exactly where the box is gonna, the baffle is gonna sit. Straight line. Boom. we fill the size. Super simple, man. This is super simple. That way you make sure you get a good seal. Boom. Box is ready to go in place. The baffle is ready to go in place. So, place the baffle. And push it towards the back, man. Then, get in. This is what I like building this one because you got plenty space to work, man. Plenty space to work. Super simple DIY filter box. I like to use a lot of silicone. You guys know that already. Boom, we got there. And it will secure here a little more. Boop, right there. And boop, right here. Now, we place the PVC so the PVC can push this thing. And I think, you know what? Let me clean out this first. The bottom, especially. And then we put this thing.
And just leave it there, man. Let it dry. No rush. I'm getting this thing wet. Let it dry. I'm a desperate guy. I do rush sometimes, but I don't have all the tank put together yet, so I can wait. Then clean what you don't want to show. Perfect. Should have added a little more silicone there to prevent those bubbles, because the other side don't have bubbles like that. Let me see, should I do it? Or are you gonna pay the price now? A little better. Little better. You can use a, put it too close. You can use a 1/2 inch PVC, so that way you got work. You got space to work instead of using a 1 inch. That way it come out clean. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So you guys know how a filter box works. You know, water flows through the air, boom, gotta come up and go through the filter chamber. And it's done, man, it's done. So I leave it here until it dries. And in the meantime, do I have super glue on here? Do I? These pieces here, I put them together with super glue. And for these pieces, you just put them in the empty spots. That way it can sit in there. So what I do is I just pour some here and then in the line in the back so I can grab the size. I do it to all of them. Boom, boom, boom. Then I'm gonna use these things just so they can sit on it. So here the first one, put it here. I got the second one. Put it there also. Third, oops, sorry. The third one here. And the fourth one here. So they're all in place. Once you're done, basically you got something where the media can sit on it and it's not gonna go down. So I'm just gonna put them here until they dry, and that's it. So once this whole thing is done, we put it together, put the media, the sponges, and we're not gonna use it until we get the other tank ready. But you guys get the idea now how I build my filter box. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I see you guys when the time comes to mount this thing. All right, guys. See you guys in the next one. See you guys.